Social Security could see some major changes very soon. This is actually some good news for millions and millions of Social Security recipients that are currently waiting and trying to figure out, are they going to see an increase to their benefits or will there be a reduction? I want to break down what's going on at this time. We're going to talk about SSI, we're going to talk about asset limits, we're going to talk about the cost of living adjustment, and a new proposal that people are discussing. So, we'll break all this down in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates, and now let's begin. So what is going on with Social Security? Well, the first thing I want to discuss is the Social Security cost of living adjustment. Look at this. It says the 2025 Social Security cost of living adjustment could be the largest we see for a long time. And I want to break down why this is. But what you need to understand is how much are you about to receive? Well, look at this. It says the latest estimate is put somewhere around 2.57%. This is less than the current 3.2% boost in benefits, and it's far less than the 8.7% we saw back in 2023. Okay? But here's the thing. A 2.57 increase is about $49 for the average Social Security recipient. If you get $1,917, then yes, you'd see a $49 increase. Now, here's where things are somewhat troubling. Because of inflation, the cost of living adjustment is it changes based off what the CPI is, or the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers. That's what it is. It changes to, but it's only the third quarter of every single year. So the problem right now is that the CPI-W, this is probably going to be lower over the next handful of years. Okay, I want to show you what they are already projecting, which is somewhat troubling because, again, Social Security recipients won't receive a huge increase. It says the Congressional Budget Office expects this trend to continue. Its baseline projections through 2034 estimate that the COLAs during this period will fall between 2.2 to 2.5%. That's it. So again, seniors are going to lose a little bit of their purchasing power, but here's the problem. The good news is they'll see a little bit of an increase. The problem is it's likely not going to increase and definitely not going to keep up with inflation, especially the way the numbers are looking as of right now. Here's the other thing. We are getting a lot of talks regarding Social Security's insolvency date. As of right now, the date is 2035, so we have about 11 years. The problem is nobody is trying to figure out or able to figure out a pathway forward to ensure that Social Security recipients do not see a cut. Well, that's where this comes in. Social Security could be upended under a new proposal. What's the new proposal? Well, the new proposal, and this is one of the things that we've been discussing before, or for a while, is let's raise the U.S. full retirement age to age 70. That right there would be troubling to millions and millions of Social Security recipients or potential recipients. The reason I say this is because of this one reason. According to reports, every single year that we raise the full retirement age would mean, and right now it's age 67, it means you would lose 7% of your lifetime benefits. 7% for 3 years. Again, 21%. That's pretty substantial. That's a substantial increase or decrease. Well, here's where things get interesting. What if we do see an insolvency date of 2035? We reach that date and there's been no changes. Well, according to the Social Security Administration, they would only be able to pay out about 78%. So it would mean they're going to have a cut about 22%. Again, it's odd, but that's what's happening. Now, look at this. Older voters, they want candidates who will protect Social Security according to polls. Yet, parties are tied for their support. I want to read you the key points in just a second, but the thing that you need to keep in mind is this election, this is going to be very telling as to where we move forward or what direction we go over the next 4 years. Who gets picked for the presidency? Is it going to be a Democrat? Will it be a Republican? Which party is going to control the Senate and the House? Okay, these are all very important. Let's read the key points. It says Social Security faces looming depletion dates for its trust funds in the next decade, prompting some experts to say the program is on the ballot this November. It says yet while older voters rank the program as a top priority, they are not overwhelmingly supporting one party over another on the issue. It says Social Security is really an up for grabs issue. It is. I want to play something to you. And this is from Senator Elizabeth Warren. This is actually just from a few days ago. But what she's saying is, well, just listen. And you can come to some conclusions yourself.
Associate Commissioner Wiltshire, how does the
let me slow that down so it doesn't seem like she's yelling at you. But here we go. Listen to this.
Complexity of SSI's eligibility rules impact the Social Security Administration and your administrative costs?
Thank you for the question. Yes, SSI is complex for us to administer, and so while SSI payments only make up about 4 or 5% of our benefit outlays, it does make up about a third of our administrative budget.
So you're spending a third of your budget to track down people who now have $2,010 in total assets or who have made $100 more than the $85 that they were entitled to earn without triggering this.
Now, if you're wondering what she's discussing, she's talking about an asset limit. Now, this is for SSI. Look at this. Okay, it says supplemental security income's asset limits are outdated. The current limit, okay, this is an individual right here. This is a couple. As an individual, you have $2,000 as an asset limit. Okay? This right here, this blue line, this blue chart, the graph, this one, this is if it was indexed to inflation. Okay, if it was adjusted for inflation since 1972. Right now, and the current limit is $2,000. If we stuck to and indexed it to inflation, it would be $10,000. Huge difference. Couples, you don't get 4,000 because there's two of you. No, 2,000 times 2 doesn't equal 4,000. Not for the government. It equals 3,000. So couples, you only got $3,000. That's your asset limit. The problem is, if you go over that asset limit during the month, guess what? The next month, you don't get your Social Security income. You don't get your SSI payment. Right? They keep it. If the Social Security Administration finds out that you have too many assets, that it's just too much, well, you don't get your payment. So in that instance, this person is not going to receive a full payment because their assets are just a little over. Even if it was $10, it's over. You don't get your payment. You forfeit the entire thing. That's what you signed on for. Or if you are working, guess what? If you make a little bit more than what they allow you to, and like Elizabeth Warren was saying, if you make $100 more, you lose your entire benefit. Okay? Or in some cases, or in this case, let's say you make $100 more, well, you get, I think, up to $85 of the thing that she was talking about. You get that, and then you get, for every $2 you make over the limit, they take $1 away from you, okay, from your benefit. Let's keep listening to this because, again, this is where we're talking about outdated policies.
You know, SSI is supposed to keep Americans with disabilities out of poverty, but it offers below poverty level support. It punishes people for working, and it punishes recipients for savings, all while the Social Security Administration is spending big dollars in order to administer this system. So I think we've all been talking about the importance of making changes here. I'm working with Senator Brown and others on this committee to pass the SSI Restoration Act, which would raise the benefit rate and help fix these outdated rules. I'm glad to see that there's bipartisan support for.
So we'll stop it there. So she's trying to change outdated rules. This is something that we've been talking about before, that it doesn't matter what party you are with or affiliated to. Social Security has been, well, pretty much, dismantled. There's not a lot they can do. And now we're starting to see it. So we're going to figure out what's going on moving forward. But as of right now, this is where we're at. That they're fighting for policy changes, but those policy changes might not see a huge benefit moving forward. We're discussing it, but whether it actually gets a vote in the House or the Senate, well, that we don't know. So I will leave you with that. But again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.